So let's start from this example. We continue. Okay, and then okay, it was in a blank page. Left it here. Okay, so yesterday we looked into the, I think, voltage transfer characteristics for NPN. Same way we can do it. So if we work out with this example, uh, I think we can also conclude from with the help of this voltage transfer character. Of course, like you can with the general expression also that when you see that there is an input is low when the V in as the input Vi is less than the VB on, and that case output is high, right? So for this given circuit, let's say let me draw it once again. So we have so let's say these are giving Vi, this is V plus or VCC with RC, and this is common emitter ground, right? You're measuring the output across or VCE. Right, so this is what we have circuit with us. So this value is, let's say, plus 5 volt, RB is 150 kilo ohm, RC is 5 kilo ohm. Okay, let's write down this number later on. So what we have seen from here that when the input is low, so when the, let's say, input is low, so that means that your input Vi is less than the VB on. So what's an output? Get it? The output is your, so input is low means that output is because current would be 0, IB would be 0. IB would 0 means IC is 0, the current collector current. So it means the output voltage would be simply clipped to the VCC, that is a V plus, right? So output is high, right? So low means when this and the VC is nothing. This is a V plus or VCC, which is written, right? And when the input is high, when the input is high, that's your Vi is in that case, if we are too high means then let's say it's crossing the kind of like the point. So it's if input is quite high, in that case output is a low because that goes into the cutoff mode or such. So that's that means you are somewhere here. I'm talking on to this one. If input is on this region, so that goes in saturation mode. So this cutoff and saturation, right? So this region is the cutoff, that corresponds to the cutoff, and this corresponds to the saturation. So what we understand from here that this is act kind of like a this device or the circuit. This can act as a low input, high output inverter, kind of like switch. Also, we can say it's kind of like a switch, BJT kind of like edge switch. Just an example of as a switch. When there is low input, you get a high output. When there's a input is quite high, there's a low. So that means you're going to saturation mode, and this is into the first one is the case of the cutoff mode condition. So if you work out with an example, and let's say I think this is 5 volt, 5 kilo ohm, 150 kilo ohm. So this is 150 kilo ohm, 5 kilo ohm. So V plus is 5 volt, RB is 150 kilo ohm, and RC is 5 kilo ohm. Let's consider the beta. You can take as a beta is 120, and VC saturation voltage is 0.2 volt, right? So it means, so I think this is what we have done it. So if we write down the output voltage, I think we have return the output voltage already we express here. I think yes, so you get it VC, which is not which is your VC is your output. So if we just make use of this, so what you need it, okay, so you can write down V naught, or this is a VCE, your V plus, that's a VCC minus, and this expression simply IC into RC, so beta, that's your IB, and VI minus 0.7 into RC, right? So if we just plug in these numbers, VI minus 0.7 divided by RB, and this is RC. If I just take a VI as 1 point, what number we got it, 1.9 volt, because V saturation voltage is given, so your minimum limit is given, so we can find out V input voltage. So considering VI is a 1.9 volt, in that case you will see that V naught is here what we have. Okay, if you want to, you don't need to, thus we got it I think for the saturation. So what I mean to say, V naught, you can have this number is a 5 minus, let's say, beta 120. Let's keep it in terms of the VI right now, VI minus 0.7, and RC is your 5 by 150, right? This is 5 by 150. So we can work out. So this is what you get. So you can see that your output now, of course, is related with the, so a small change in input voltage would make a small change into V naught. So if there is small change in VI, that's let's say delta VI, so delta change in output voltage V naught would be simply, this is a constant, so what you get it is a minus. So minus of this, you can work out this number. So this will be your, so only except the VI would be there, so some minus sign, and I think delta VI and some some numerical value, right? So what you see that this is the change in output voltage, change in input voltage, and now you can see this negative sign is there. So that means that there's a phase change in output voltage. So negative sign means that there's a change in phase in the output voltage, change in output voltage. So if I just take the ratio of delta V naught over delta VI, I would get the gain. Actually, this simply, so it means the gain which we define is, so if we have, so AV, so that's your output voltage divided by input voltage, right? So in this case, you get this some, and this numerical value, some number. So that's tells you about the phase change, and this is the amplitude amplification factor. That tells about the amplification factor, right? So also I think already I talked uh, onto the Q point. So I think we did some example also yesterday about the Q point. So is the important point here is that we must keep the transistor into the forward active mode always, and establish a Q point near the center of the load line. So this is middle of the load line, so it is always preferred, so that in case of any variation, if there's a kind of like a, let's say, so we make sure that it should be in the center of, though it's not center, but should be in center of the load line. So there, if it is a VCC point of here, so this is not okay. So I mean to say here, somewhere here in the center. So it's always a preferred, because so that it can, if there is any variation that may happen, so the Q point doesn't change really that much that it reaches to the saturation region, right? So that's a kind of like a final takeout message from this Q point analysis, right? So as I was talking to you yesterday, I think we did some example of having a R1 and R2. We didn't explain why we doing it, but now this is basically required to provide the kind of like a biasing. So we need to do the BJT biasing because okay, it's basically the stability, and this stability against can be variation in temperature or transistor malfunctioning. As I mentioned to you yesterday also, that suppose one of the transistor got bad by mistake, is burnt out, and then you need to replace, or it burnt out, may something wrong, malfunctioning, then you need to change the transistor, right? And each and every transistor may not have the same kind of like a common emitter current gain factor, that is beta, right? So there is small variation into the beta would be there. So if you are plugging now different transistor having a slightly different beta, the Q point is going to move, right? So we need a kind of like the biasing, so that the circuit, this biasing means basically a circuit which provides an stability against any such variation. So as we have seen some example that we use a single base resistor biasing, so we'll, if we work out, and then another possibility is the voltage divided biasing. So it's provided of course better, that's biasing stability how. So let's have a look. So let's start with an example of single base resistor biasing. So this in a simple circuit having a, so this is the input coupling capacitor, and giving input. So this is a time variant, is a signal, sinusoidal signal, or time variant may be sinusoidal, or it may be any kind of like a waveform, but it's a time varying signal. And this is the like standard, so it's a common emitter configuration. And you can, let's say we assume a single resistor which is applied here, and this is VCC. So under, so this is a circuit, but under, when you look into the, when to find out the DC condition means we are going to find out the simply that if this is here, so we need to find out the Q as a quiescent point, if this is output characteristics, whereas this is a input characteristics. So we need to find out the Q point. At the Q point, what are the values, what are the current values? So when you look in DC, so simply it's become open circuit, so we simply replace it with the with this circuit. So this is the input characteristics, and this is the output characteristics. So now the current that's flowing into the branch is now we represent with the quiescent. So it means I'm talking on to the point somewhere here, IBQ, the current, and on this we have VCEQ, and the collector current we simply represent with the ICQ. So you have the collector current, the quiescent point, we call it the ICQ, and CEQ. If there is a resistor which is connected onto the emitter terminal, then the current that is going to flow through the emitter terminal through that resistor, it will be IEQ, right? So basically, so at the quiescent point, it's for the DC analysis part, we take up, we just make it this circuit, and then we analyze. So the analysis remain the same, like we do it. Let's work out the example. Let's say for given parameters, let's say VCC is 12 volt here. So I will ask you, all of you, to try out. Let's say VC is, where it is blank slide. Okay, let's do it here. As VCC is a 12 volt, and VCEQ at the output voltage, the let's say corresponding QZ is a 6 volt, and ICQ is 1 milliampere, and beta is 100. If this is a, let's say, is the requirement, and this is a, let's say, it's given. So can we find out, let's say, the this resistor which is connected to the collector terminal and the value of RB? It's possible to do it, and VB on is 0.7 volts. So let's try out. So please do it. Yes. So ICQ is given, VCEQ also given, VCC is given. So what we are going to find out, we can find out RC first. So obtain the RC. So this is a simple circuit. So we know that VCE, the Q is your VCC minus IC into RC. So at the quiescent point Q, so use this one. So what you get from here, you will get the value of RC, and since the beta is given, ICQ is given, so we can find out IBQ. So IBQ would be simply ICQ over beta. Find it out, and once base current is known, so for the loop, for the input loop, we can estimate now the IB is known, but we need to find out RB, value of RB. So we know IBQ is your VCC minus VB on here divided by RB. So that would give you the value of RB from here, which is 12 volt minus 0.7 divided by IBQ, right? So can you just estimate, calculate?
Sir, 1130 kilo.
How much?
So RC is 6 kilo.
Okay.
RB is 1130
1130
kilo.
1130 kilo. So you can see it's a really very high value of resistance, is order of a mega ohm, right? So it's too large value to be used in your, let's say, for put up an integrated circuit. Like, since right now this experiment which you are doing, let's say, this standalone devices all, but when you look into in terms of, let's say, amplifier which is going to put up on integrated circuit on kind of like a chip within chip, so this is too high value. Then instead of using this, one should go for the voltage divider. So because of value is too high, if we take an example, right, if we take even, so if value is too high, so it's better to use, so it's difficult to really put up such high value onto the integrated circuit form. So that's always a good option to use a voltage divider circuit. There's another example, maybe you'll see the advantage of voltage divider. I think that's we did yesterday. An example that where it was. Yes, we did this example yesterday, though we didn't put up any kind of sinusoid anything signal, but this is a circuit. So if any of the resistor go bad also, let's say it's not malfunction, so you can replace actually that component, right? So that's also an advantage. So this is a circuit for combinator with the voltage divider biasing. And if you connect RE or not connect RE, let's say if you just do its analysis without RE, you can, I think yesterday we did it, and RE is present, you'll see the beta component is coming into the picture, right? So let's say I think we did yesterday this kind of example, if I recall. Okay, we did with the RE. Okay, so there was one example I left it. We made a table, right? So if I know I cannot find it out. So anyway, so if we look this one, so it's a VCC which is connected power supply R1 and 2 voltage divider. So you just find out the base circuit. So at this point, the voltage we can find it out by using a Thevenin equivalent. So that would be simply given by the voltage divider equation, R2 over R1 plus R2 multiplied by VCC. That would give the voltage at the base terminal, and the resistance, which is equivalent resistance which is present at the base terminal, would be simply given by the Thevenin equivalent resistance, right? So if we look into workout for this one, I think we did yesterday. Of course, we can rewrite the equations. So that equations were, I think, what you get it in presence of RE, and if RE is not present, this won't be there. So you get a standard IBQ. So basically, you get an IBQ from here, VTH minus VB on divided by RTH instead of RB, and then you have the plus 1 plus beta in terms of, so we just replace that transistor, considering that transistor is in for active mode. If it is set, it is an active for active mode, considering those relationship, and then we can just find out this is an IBQ. Right, so we can find out, obtain the base current if this is absent. So design requirement for bias stability is actually, this is a design requirement to provide a bias stability. So for example, this Thevenin equivalent resistance represented at the base terminal should be much less than the 1 plus beta into RE. So as a thumb rule, we says that thumb rule says that RTH should be on approach 10%. So RTH approximately 0.10%, 0.1, a value of 1 plus beta into RE. So that's kind of like a standard design criteria, design rule, as a thumb rule, I can say. So it means if you have to design kind of like a circuit, let's say voltage divider circuit, how did we arrive to those points? So considering the bias stability criteria, which is your RTH 0.1 plus beta into RE, we can estimate. So once we know all this, this will be helpful when you want to design the circuit. It has going to be like unknown, finding out the unknown parameter with the help of this thumb, this kind of like a, you can take as a thumb rule equations. And collector current, I think already we can find it out, because we know this is IBQ. This is nothing, this is an IBQ, and so ICQ we can estimate as a beta into IBQ. So that would give us the collector current in this. So what you see also, since your beta is much greater than 1, because beta can go 50 to 300, so it's much larger, so greater than 1. So if I assume this, so what we can get it, so it means this factor which is present in this equation, so 1 plus beta we can write down simply beta, and this beta get cancelled out. So what's remaining is your you get in a simple VTH minus VB on over RE. So what you see that the collector current now, it depends on only onto the on this DC voltages values. It only depends on DC voltage values and the emitter resistance, right? So it means there is an what we can say, the Q point is stabilized against beta. So you don't see any kind of like a beta in that's coming into this collector current, right? So it means if this is a characteristic, so if this is maybe small variation might be there, but not kind of like a very huge variation that may go into the onto the same curve, right? So that's maybe small variation might be there, a small change, but it's almost though it's analytical conclusion that's ICQ is now independent of the on the beta, right, on the common emitter current gain factor beta. So it depends only on the DC voltages. So what does it mean? Suggests that the Q point is stabilized. Q point is stabilized against variation in beta. Against variation in beta. So beta is means basically any malfunction in transistors you're replacing with it, right? So what you see that in equation, I think I also mentioned this I think yesterday as well, that beta and RE are together, so they compensate each other. So RE is basically the presence of emitter resistance resistor at the emitter terminal simply stabilizes the Q point. So that's actually very important conclusion. So what you see that the RE is simply, it helps to stabilize the Q point. So the Q point. So as beta and RE are together in equation, if RE is not present, if this RE is not present in case of, so what you have, if I write down the equation here, if I have the blank page, okay, let's say you have the circuit. I'm just drawing the DC condition part. VCC, RC, R1, R2. That's all. As a nice QN. VCC, RC, R1, RE. This we have done R2, right? So we have this point. So this is a base terminal. So in this case, IBQ was VTH minus VB on over RTH. In this IBQ is your VTH minus VB on divided by RTH plus 1 plus beta into RE. So that's a difference. And ICQ, simply if you take it as in terms of the beta IBQ, this is also fine. And in this here ICQ is beta IBQ, means here this equation, right? So I think you can see that now beta, this here is the collector current. There will be a beta would be present. In this case is become independent because beta compensates. So RE actually just helps you, and the presence of second RE, which you do the experiment in the experiment, as I mentioned to you. So that's will be more clear when we do the when we obtain the AC signal analysis part. That is R2, R1, VCC, RC, RE1, RE2, which you are doing in experiment, and there is a provision to connect the capacitor, so basically bypassing. So that's also help you find out presence of second RE provide the AC gain stability, whereas they are RE1 provided the DC gain, DC stability. Biasing stability, the presence of RE2 like that's provide you the AC gain stability. So that I think that will come up later on. So what we can do it here, let's try out one example. So let's everyone try out. I'm drawing the circuit. VCC, RC, R1, R2, RE. Let's say R1 is a 56 kilo ohm, R2 is 2 kilo ohm, RC is 2 kilo ohm, R is 0.4 kilo ohm, and VCC is 10 volt, VB on 0.7, and beta is equals to 100, right? So we have to do analysis part. Let's say circuit is, I just making a DC part, but circuit basically you have the coupling capacitor, and then let's say there's a source which is connected. So but the DC equivalent circuit would be only, yes, a DC equivalent circuit would be only this, because we just take the all the DC components, so just avoid the AC components. So if we know what we need to find out let's say all the current values, find out the output voltage, right? And let's make a one table. This is for beta is 200. Now if I change the beta, now if the beta is 50 and let's say beta is 150, and let's so it means you fill up the table. So IBQ, ICQ, VCEQ, and that's your beta 100, beta 50, and beta 150. right? So let's work out. That's one example. So let's see, Abhinav. I'll call one by one. Maybe, are you there, Abhinav? Okay, so we just started the machine and then run away. Abhishek, Abhishek Kumar. Okay, Aditya.
Yes, sir. Abhishek.
Okay, you're there. Aditya, Aditya.
Yes, sir.
Adnan,
Yes, sir.
you're there. Okay, good. Adnan, not there. Okay, Sahiti, Egi Sahiti, Agnav, Agnav, Akshat, Akshat Ahuja, absent. Akshay Manoj,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and Aligeti Shivani, Shivani. Aligeti Shivani is there.
Present, sir.
Okay. Anish,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ankit Kumar, Ankit Jha,
Yes, sir.
Ankit Jha, are you there? Okay. Okay, good. Aritra,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ashwin, Ashwin, not there. So this is one of the benefit. This is the one of the benefit of in online mode. Aritrik, Avanti, Ayan, Ayush.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, yes, sir.
Okay. And Bhimani, Sai, Kaushik, Chaitanya.
Yes, sir. Copy.
Okay, Chaitanya, Sriram.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You're there. Okay. Harsha,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Nitish,
Yes, sir.
Devbrat, Deepan,
Yes, sir.
Vijay, Sushma, and Siddhant.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so already sleeping or looks like you're tired. So try out this example. Quickly fill up this table. You fill up this table. Okay. Some have the problems with this. Jeel, Vakar, Dvita Sunil, Wahid,
Yes, sir.
you're there. Vivekanand,
Yes, sir.
Vishal,
Yes, sir.
Vishal, Vishal Anand, Vishal Kumar, Vishal Misra.
Yes, sir.
All three
Yes,
Vishals
brother.
are there.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
All three Vikas, Bakolia,
Yes, sir.
Vikas Reta. Okay, good. Vanishka, Vaidehi, Umang, Tushan, Aditya, Ki Aditya.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
and Ridivesh,
Prasad.
Repal, Rishwant.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So Swan, I think yes, might be there. Sunny, Soumya, Sohan, Snehal, Siddharth, Subham,
Yes, sir.
Subham,
Yes,
Saurabh,
sir.
Yes,
Subham,
sir.
Agarwal,
Yes,
Subham.
sir. Yes, sir.
How many?
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
four
Yes,
Subham.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Try out. So I'm probably going to put up one by one problem in that case. If you're not inactive, you need to interact, right? सोना नहीं है. How many are sleeping? Raise your hand. Okay. Try out this problem, fill up, and the second problem is we are going to on. Okay. Design a bias stable circuit if the VCC is given 5 volt, RC is 1 kilo ohm, okay, and choose RE and determine R1 and R2 such that circuit is bias stable. Okay, and the output which you get at VCEQ is 3 volt and beta is 120, VB on is 0.7 volt. So this is a reverse problem. So it means you need to use that condition for bias stability. That's RTH is equals to 0.1, 1 plus beta into RE, right? So you will get an equation which is an R1 and R2. So basically you need to solve out those R1 and R2, find it out. Choose RE, right? So RE generally basically is, if you see in the exponent also 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, generally is the order of VB on number actually 0. So is always, so you can choose let's say 0.5 kilo ohm, you can choose 0.3 or 0.2 also. So that has to be less, not very high value of RE. If you take very high values, check it out what's going to happen. If I consider RE, let's say the side number, I just give you some numbers, but if I take a 2 kilo ohm, 5 kilo ohm for given circuit, try out what's going to happen in terms of current and the voltages. So that will be a good exercise as well. So how many have done this? What is the VTH? So VTH and RTH. So this basically need these two number right now, R1 and R2. This is straightforward. Then you find out IBQ for this circuit, and then you find out VCQ. So IBQ is your VTH minus VB on divided by RTH plus 1 plus beta into RE, right? And the VCEQ would be your simply VCC minus ICQ RC and minus IEQ RE, right? And what is, you need ICQ. So once we have the IBQ, then you can find out ICQ simply beta into IBQ, right? So you need to estimate. So for beta VTH, how much? Anyone?
So 1.79 volt.
1.79
volt.
1.79 volt. Okay. And RTH?
10.02 kilo.
10.02 kilo. Okay, fine. So this is the 1.79. So find out IBQ. So that's the first step. and second step is finding IBQ, then ICQ, then finally the output voltage. So beta equals 100, and then you can work out.
So can you show the next question?
Yes. So design a bias-stable circuit. Basically, the parameters which is given VCC is 5 volt, RC 1 kilo ohm. Choose RE and determine R1, R2 such that circuit is bias-stable. So once a sentence is like this, circuit is bias-stable, you can simply write as per the bias-stable criteria. RTH is 0.1, 1 plus beta into RE, and RE you need to choose. So RE you can take it, let's say for example 0.5 kilo ohm here. So or one may get all 0.3, 0.4, so 0.6, but so roughly is a order of the number which is here we beyond less than that. So once we have this RTH, you'll get it RTH. So R1 parallel to R2, we get an equation this, and then we get a one VCQ is there. Let's find it out. Let's say VCQ is given here. Beta is known, so you can find it out basically. ICQ, you can find it out. You can do also, there might be several ways to do it. Beta is known, so you can find out alpha, and alpha is known. You can use the relation between, since it's considering forward active mode, you can find with the IE and IC, right? So ICQ is alpha of IEQ, so that's also possible to do it. Also one can assume is very approximately it's the same, so because that will be required in your VCQ is your VCC minus ICQ, RC minus IEQ, RE, right? So you can find out ICQ. So keep with this ICQ same, so you can get it the ICQ. When ICQ you have the ICQ, you can try out. So we had to get the two equations in R1 and R2. I think you can do it. So just make few more comments onto the single base register biasing. So as I mentioned to you also, I think this is some intermediate suicides, so I need to rearrange. If you have only one, so it's not going to, if you are connecting RE on this side, so anyway, this is not all going to provide any Q point is not stabilized against the variation beta. If we have just only single bias resistor, you will see that. So that's you can do also for some example for different betas also. So it's remain the same. Like can try out different examples in this case also different beta, right? I think this is one example of different beta and then finding out such. See, anyone got it, these numbers? Jatin, Jarpula, got it? Are you doing this exercise, Karan? Kashish, Kiran.
Sir, no, sir. I'm just trying.
Okay. Kopla, Koina, Krishan Kant,
Sir, I'm doing.
Pritish. Okay, Manjeet,
Yes, sir.
Manu, Martin, Mayur, Raja, Meher, Milind, Muzaffar. Done. How many of you tried out? See, you need to try out these problems, right? Anyone got the IBQ?
So for beta is equal to 100, 2.688 microampere. For beta is equal to
2.68.
69, yes.
Okay, 69 microampere.
For
And then
50
IC.
So I did IBQ all first, then okay, ICQ
Oh,
I
you
got
done
point.
the ICQ. This is not the. Is it correct?
No.
This is Matthew
Yeah.
ICQ.
Yes, so this is IBQ. This is IBQ, and then ICQ I got 0.2688 milliampere. For the
Sure.
same. For yes.
Check it out 1 second. Anyone can confirm? Because this is okay. Because ICQ, what you're saying is very, very less in that case.
Sir, 22 microampere it is coming.
Yeah, might be approximately. Yeah. So you're losing. Yeah, I think might be correct. 22 around microampere approximately.
Sir, 21.6.
Hmm?
21.6 something.
Yeah, 22 micro. So it's my 22 microampere IBQ, and then ICQ. Check it out. ICQ as then it will be simply 2 point something, right? Milliampere. Then you find it out VCEQ. So always when we are dealing the problems, when we are solving this circuit analysis part, right? So we need to see, so output, if VCQ is a positive, if greater than the VB on, then you are in forward active mode. So whatever the assumptions we are doing, all these are considering that situation, right? So that's confirmed. And also VC
5.7
is 5 point.
volt.
5.7 volt. Yeah, might be
No,
okay.
sir.
So
Sorry. 4.73.
4.73.
73.
Okay. So 4 point.
For beta is equal to 50, it is 5.7.
Okay. So what you can see that is a 4.73 volt. That's output voltage is a positive. So that confirms that the transistor is in for active mode, right? The VCC which was here is a 10 volt. So it's almost half, nearly half. So that means we are on to the middle point of the Q point is somewhere set around the middle of the load line, right? So if you can draw it, you can make a draw also. So for beta equals to 50, you have so it means you would have 3 different curves would be there, and then you can just plot these numbers. So that's also a good. So you can just make a draw, make a graph, and see the variation in. So it means you have 3 different IBQ, 3 different curves would be there, and then then you have the VCEQ that would be slightly moving, right? You can see 5.7 volt, 4.73, and beta 150 might be. Let's check it out. How much?
We have another class.
Okay, yeah, you can go. Yeah, sure, you can leave.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, what is the syllabus